Potholes are a problem, especially in Tucson. City of Tucson voters approved Proposition 409 for our city street improvements. Approximately 130 miles of major streets and 114 miles of neighborhood streets will be resurfaced as a part of the bond program, meaning paving and patching up any of the streets that need maintenance.
But that our roads need work. We've had decreasing funds from our traditional source for fixing our roads, which was state highway user revenue fund, so we've been able to do less with our roads over the last few years, which is why we went out and convinced the voters of the city to pass a $100 million bond issue so we can get back using our own money to fix our roads.
We do so much to avoid potholes while driving.
I can't say, first of all, I had no personal problem, but I wouldn't say that I've never had to dodge a pothole. You know, obviously I have. We get every now and then we will get complaints where somebody will say, I hit something in the road and it caused a tire to blow out, or it caused, you know, some small damage. We don't get that very often, but we do get it.
Potholes are seen on the roads where we travel from day to day. It is an ongoing problem.
Actually, some of our crews are working overtime to be filling the potholes, because when we get a lot of rain or anything and it gets very cold, then some of the potholes will start popping up, and which is, you know, very unfortunate. And you know, we try to keep ahead of it, but we won't. It's really difficult to try to handle all of them. As I said, I have over 1,800 miles of roads in all of Pima County that we maintain, and obviously we can't know about the condition of every single little roadway, and so we always ask people to call in the potholes that you get or any safety issues so that we can put it on our list to try to take care of them. The unfortunate thing is, and I have photos of some of our roads, that there's so many patches on the road that you go, is there a road left here? And the unfortunate thing is because my revenues have decreased so substantially, I don't have the monies to maintain our roads or to rebuild our roads to the degree that I need to do so.
It is common that potholes are caused by weather conditions and cars. That is how potholes are formed.
Roads, you know, in today's day and age, are basically have 30-year life expectancies. So in order to maintain those roads for the full 30 years, you have to do ordinary maintenance. And if that ordinary maintenance isn't getting done, it makes the road deteriorate more quickly. And as the road deteriorates, of course, then weather will begin to affect the road, rain and the like. And so that's one thing. The other part about the deterioration is once the road deteriorates, it just takes more money and more work to put it back into good condition, and that's the facts as we're facing them and what we're trying to fix.
If the potholes get worse, which they have, then the city will take matters into their own hands and pave the whole street.
Unless we have been told of a pothole, you know, a dangerous situation, then we're not expected to always know about it. But if we've been told and we didn't handle the pothole, then we're responsible. So if somebody says my car was damaged and, you know, puts in a claim, then we will go through our records and we said we had no notice that there was a pothole, then we will deny the claim. But if we've been said, oh, somebody had called 2 weeks ago and told us about a pothole, we didn't take care of it, then we may settle. So there's certain roads that have you know, high volumes, and that we really need to pay most attention to those.
You know, for the highways are state highways, and so that's purely state of Arizona reserve. The problem in the community is where you put highways in an existing community. So it's very hard. We've had a couple, you know, the downtown links, which is really the connection between where the Broadway corridor is and then across downtown. And it's taken years to work out an alignment, work through with the neighborhoods, get the right plans. Now we're finally at that. but it isn't realistic to think that you can go through this community and build a highway. It comes from it comes from a couple of sources. From the state, there's highway user revenue funds, and what that is I think in about 1999, the voters of the state voted to increase gas tax by, I think, 1/4 cent a gallon. So for every gallon of gas you buy, there's 1/4 cent. And that goes into a fund at the state, and the state distributes that money. The problem was when the state started getting short on money, they interpreted that, the legislature, as not just road repair, but Department of Public Safety and Department of Motor Vehicles. So they've been funding those services with money that was supposed to be for the road.
Some streets are casually paved to cover up the cracks, but come back bigger than before. Tucson Department of Transportation, also known as TDOT, have already begun crack sealing and patching many of the roads that have needed it for a while. Grant Road, Silver Bar Road to Forbes Road, Speedway Boulevard, Rosemount Boulevard to Wilmot Road, Stone Avenue, Prince Road to Fort Lowell Road, Stone Avenue, Broadway to 18th Street, Swan Road, Rito River to Grant Road, Swan Road, Speedway to Golf Links Road. Tucson Department of Transportation have not only done those roads, but are still looking at other roads that need maintenance as well.
I think we've done a poor job as government in managing our roadway system in the last 4 years. I think we've let it go because in large part we lost the funding sources that we had because of, frankly, unconscionable moves by the state legislature. But at the same time, we did not put ourselves in a situation where we were properly funding maintenance, so consequently our roads have gotten to be in terrible condition, and now we have a major problem in trying to fix it.
It is true that paving can only do so much, since it's covering up the problem. Potholes may never cease to exist.